You couldn't find your shoe. That's it. That's the whole crime. Your left shoe under the couch where it lives. We were going to be 9 minutes late to a thing that didn't matter, and you were standing in the hallway with one shoe on, looking at me like I might know where feet keep their stuff. And I said, "What is wrong with you?" Not loud. I need you to know that, because loud would almost be better. Loud is weather. This was flat, quiet, like I was reading a serial number off the back of a fridge. What is wrong with you? And your face did a thing I've been trying to unsee for 12 hours. I knew before I even finished saying it. Not after. Not lying in bed going over my day. Right in the middle of the sentence, somewhere around the word wrong, I heard whose voice was coming out of me. I was 9. Your age. I didn't put that together till about 10 o'clock that night. And when I did, I had to sit down. I'd done something with a bike chain. I couldn't tell you what. That's the part that gets me. I can't remember what I did, and I can tell you every word he said and what his eyebrows were doing while he said it. What is wrong with you? Why can't you just be normal? I haven't said that sentence in 31 years. I've thought it. I've felt it come up on me in traffic, at work, once at my own brother's wedding, over a seating chart. And I've swallowed it every single time, and I was proud of that. I thought swallowing it was the same as beating it. Turns out I wasn't beating it. I was just carrying it. And a carried thing doesn't care who it lands on. You didn't cry. I almost wish you'd cried. You went quiet in that way you have, where you get very, very organized. You found the shoe. You put it on. You did both laces properly, like somebody was grading you, and you got in the car and looked out the window the whole way. And I drove and didn't say anything because I'd already said plenty. Then at the end of the night, you stood at the bottom of the stairs, and you said, "Good night, Dad." You said "Good night, Dad," and you went up. Not because it was okay. I know that now. You said it because you're 9, and 9-year-olds still say goodnight to the man who hurt them. That's the deal they think they're in. I stood at the bottom of those stairs and I couldn't make my mouth work. That was the whole of your evening. It was the start of mine. I'm on the floor of the hallway outside your door. Been here about an hour and a half. Your mom asked what I was doing and I said checking on him. A lie so small I didn't even feel myself tell it. I'm not checking on you. You're asleep. You've been asleep since 9. I can hear you through the door. You breathe the same way I do. I'm out here because I don't know what you do next. I genuinely don't. I'm 40 years old. I run a business. 30 people do what I tell them all day long. And I'm sitting on a carpet outside a 9-year-old's door because I have never once in my life watched a grown man fix something he broke. Not once. Not in that house. In that house, things got broke and we all just walked around the pieces. I know exactly what's available to me because both of them were done to me. Option 1, it never happened. You come down in the morning and everybody's cheerful. There's bacon. Somebody puts the radio on. Nobody says a word about it, and the nobody saying is so loud. You can hear it over the radio, and you learn that when a man hurts you, it goes in a drawer. And the drawer gets fuller, and nobody ever opens it. And one day, you're the drawer. Option 2 is the bike. A week after the chain thing, he came home with a bike. Red, chrome handlebars. The one every kid on our street wanted, and exactly one kid on our street got. He held the back of the seat and ran me up and down that park till it got dark. And he said, "Don't you quit. You keep going till you get it right." And I need you to hear this part right because it's easy to hear it wrong. That was the best day of my childhood. I'm not being cute. It was. I can still feel his hand on that seat. He meant it. He wasn't buying me off. He didn't have the words, so he bought a bike and ran alongside me for 3 hours in his work boots. And that was him saying it in the only language anybody ever taught him. He was a good man. He had some hard years, and he came out the other side. He just never learned the sentence, so he said it in bicycles. And I got a bicycle instead of a sentence, and I've been trying to work out the exchange rate my whole life. I looked at bikes. 11:50 at night, sitting on the floor, on my phone, looking at bikes. Yours is fine, by the way. Yours is a year old, and it fits you. There's nothing wrong with your bike. I had one in the cart. That's how close this was. Red. Chrome handlebars. I'm not even kidding. And I sat there with my thumb over the button thinking, he'll be so happy. He'll be so happy on Saturday. And you would have been. That's the thing nobody warns you about. It would have worked. That's why it's the trap. Here's what I'd have been teaching you if I'd pressed that button. That when a man hurts you, he doesn't say so. He pays. That the debt gets settled in objects. That if you want to know what a man's sorry for, you watch what he buys you. And in 30 years, you'd be sitting on a floor outside your own kid's door, with your thumb over a button, wondering why you can't get the words out, and not knowing it's because nobody ever said them in front of you. I put the phone face down on the carpet. That's the most useful thing I did all night. It took 1 second. Nobody saw it. I'm telling you because someday you'll do the same thing, and I need you to know it counts. So I had to build it from nothing. I want you to know what I was doing out here, because it wasn't just feeling bad. Feeling bad is easy. I could have done that in the kitchen with a drink. I was trying to figure out the actual mechanics of a thing I've never seen performed. Not once. Not by anybody. I went through the guys at work. Nothing. I went through my brother. Nothing. I went through every man I know well enough to call at 1 a.m. There's 4 of them. 40 years of knowing men. 4 names on the list, and I couldn't picture one of them doing it either. 4 men. 40 years. Not one template between us. That's not a complaint, that's the inventory. What got handed down was nothing, and nothing is heavy, in case nobody's told you. Here's what I came up with at 1:30 on a carpet. Say what I did, not what happened. What I did. Say it was mine. Not tired, not busy, not traffic. Mine. And then the hard one. The one that took the longest to see. Don't ask you to make me feel better about it. Because you would. That's the thing that scared me. You'd say it's okay, Dad, in about 2 seconds, because you're 9, and because you love me, and because a kid will always take the job off you if you let them, and then I'd feel better, and you'd be carrying it. That's how it moves down, not with the shouting. With the part right after, where somebody has to hold it, and the smallest person in the room volunteers. You wake up early. You always have. I came in and sat on the bottom bunk, which I haven't done since you were about 6. You had the light on already. You were reading that shark book. You looked at me and you did this face. I want to describe it exactly. You looked at me the way you'd look at weather coming in. working out how bad it's going to be and how long it's going to last. 9 years old and you've already got a system for reading me. That's the part that put me on the hallway floor for 4 hours. Not the sentence. The fact that you've already built the instrument. I said, last night in the hallway I said something to you. It was cruel and it wasn't true. I said you weren't doing anything wrong. You were looking for your shoe. That's all you were doing. I said that's a thing my dad used to say to me, and I swore my whole life I'd never say it to you, and last night it came out of me anyway. That's mine. It's not yours. You didn't cause it, and you can't fix it. And then I stopped talking. That was the hardest part. It lasted about 4 seconds, and I've never worked harder at anything in my life than I worked at not filling those 4 seconds. Because I wanted you to say it was okay. I wanted it so bad I could taste it. I sat on my hands. You said, okay. Then you said, is that why you were sitting outside my door? You knew the whole time. You just let me have it. Then you scooted over, made room on the bunk. And then you asked if we were still going to the hardware store. And I said, yeah, and you said good, because you needed something for the shark project. That's it. That's the whole repair. 40 seconds, a kid making room on a bunk, and a hardware store. I'm not going to tell you it's fixed. You'd know I was lying. That sentence is still in me. It's in there for good. I've carried it 31 years, and last night proved I don't get to retire it. I just get to keep catching it. It'll come up again, probably over something just as stupid as a shoe. But here's the difference, and it's the only thing I've got to give you. You've seen it done now. You've seen a grown man say a thing, and say it was his, and not ask you to carry it. You've got the picture. I didn't have the picture. I had a bike. So when you're 40, and you're on a floor outside a door at 1 a.m, and buddy, the odds are not nothing. You won't have to invent it. You'll just have to remember this morning. That's not much. I know it's not much. It's about a bike more than I got, and I loved that bike. Go back to sleep. It's early. I'll be downstairs. That was a work of fiction, read by a synthetic voice. If it landed close to home, the next card has 3 places to start. All of them are free.